Okay, once again, we are not worried about flattering angles on this channel. So I wanted to talk about ear protection. Specifically the products that I use. I cannot use loops. My son has loops and they hurt the inside of my ear a lot. Like, even just trying to get used to them for a few hours, the pain just kind of stays the same or maybe gets a little bit worse. It feels like someone's scratching the inside of my, it feels like the inside of my ear has been scratched raw, I guess I'll say it. Like, it feels like it has, like, the kind of pain that you get after there's been a lot of friction and bad scratching. That's what it feels like in my ear to wear loops. The most comfortable and currently the only ear protection that I use is the Calmer Pro Mini. And the way that they're by Flare Audio, and the way that these work is that there's a metal shell on the inside, and it actually comes fully apart if you want to clean it from the silicone part. And the metal creates the shape that it's a more streamlined shape for the audio signals to come in, and it goes into your ear for you to hear it. And it does seem to take the edge off of some of the annoying sounds. Like this past weekend, I used it at a chamber orchestra event where it was like a community-based event at the local college, and there were a lot of seniors in attendance. I was one of the only people my age in attendance. There were a couple children there though. And I wore these for the first piece. I forgot to put them in, and I was really conscious of like the sounds of people around me and not wanting to make noise. So I didn't want to rustle around in my bag since I couldn't feel it where this was in my bag. I couldn't get it out in time to put them in. So the only thing that worries me about these is that they are expensive, and I've lost them before and had to buy more. So if I'm like walking from here to the car and I'm wanting to put them in because we're going to Walmart and it's been like a difficult day, and I know that in the past I've had some screechy sounds in Walmart really almost trigger a shutdown or a meltdown. It can contribute to overwhelm and sensory overload. So I know I want to wear them, but if I start to take them out of the little tube that I carry them in, like this, while I'm walking, for some reason, the way my autism is, the way uncoordination in my movements, discoordinated movements are, I might drop it on the ground and lose them. So I have to put them on when I'm seated, usually at home, like here before I go down, or once I'm in the car. And then I like to make sure that the fit is perfect so that there's no risk of losing them, because I don't want to be, it's not going to help that I reduce the anxiety of some of the spiky sounds if I have increased anxiety the whole time that I'm going to lose these. So once they're in, they're very comfortable. I even won't feel them a lot of the time, but because I worry about losing them, and because I don't want to wear them to sleep, because specifically I have had an issue where, if you see these hoop earrings that I'm wearing, where one of them came loose once while I was sleeping, and Dumpling actually was really attracted to it because it smells like my ear piercing smell, which isn't a strong smell. Like, I wash my jewelry a lot and wash myself a lot because I don't like strong smells, but Dumpling really likes me and anything that smells like me. So of course she chewed on it a little bit, and I have a hoop earring now that's like all chewed up, and I keep it, but I don't know what I'd have to melt it down or something. I don't know what I would ever do with it. And so I'm really scared of that happening to my Calmer Pro ear inserts, and I just wasn't sure if maybe I should go for another Calmer Mini or Calmer Sleep. I wasn't sure, so I went to the Flare Audio website, and that is what this video is actually about. The Calmer Pros are great. They work for me. They are solid ear protection in that they do soften some of those spiky sounds, but they don't make me, it's an earplug that's going to make it so I can't hear anything, because I need to hear my surroundings. These hurt. I don't know why. I read the reviews really carefully on the Flare Audio site, and I tried to go, like, to trust the reviews the most. when they're written by people who were mentioning the Calmer Pro. Like, I used the Calmer Pro and I needed something else for sleeping on my side or whatever, and I wanted to try this, and it worked really well for them. So I believe the problem with the Sleep is just that the smallest ones, the smallest tips that it comes with are just not small enough for me. Is probably what it is. I probably just have weirdly small space in this ear canal area. And then the other problem with it is that I call my sensory processing issues Princess and the Pea disease. That's what I call it, because every time, it's like if I was sleeping on the thousands of mattresses, I would feel that pea on the bottom. I wouldn't really, but that's the hyperbolic example in the book. So these, which are very soft and probably have very little roughness to the surface, in my ear, it feels rough, extremely rough and scratchy, and it hurts, and I can't get used to it. So not only could I definitely not wear these while asleep, I can't even seem to wear them for a whole hour so far. So I might talk to them about, like, if there's a customer satisfaction thing that I can do, or if we should return them, or if I could trade them in for other calmer things, because I do like the Flare audio products a lot. They do really help me. I just, if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. Now the other one that I tried, also the smallest tips, which actually are these green tips. The other one I tried was Calmer Performance, okay? And so as soon as I put it in, I could understand this is not going to work for me. They hurt a whole lot. These hurt really, really bad. And it's something weird that I learned actually when I was pregnant with my son, that if I have a pelvic exam, and I'm going to try to keep this outside of the TMI range, no details, but for pelvic exams, the OBGYN or resident will use a speculum. And what I found was that if you had asked me what would I expect, would the plastic speculum be more comfortable or a metal one be more comfortable, I would assume plastic. That's actually not true. For me, plastic is horribly painful for some reason, and metal is more comfortable. And I had learned, like, oh, I should always ask for metal. I should always ask for a Peterson speculum. It's just one of those things that I know about myself. That's what my patient education was around that time. Just anytime you go to OBGYN, make sure you say that. Now, I don't have to get pelvic exams anymore because I've had a total hysterectomy, ovaries out, cervix out. But it's still possible to get some visible signs of cancer in some tissues down there. So maybe it still would be a good idea to have a pelvic exam sometimes in life. Anyway, you can see how my brain just like tangentifies everything and wants to go down other trains of thought. It's a main feature of autism for me, and it sucks. Yeah, so these Calmer Performance ones, I really thought they might be like the foam tip ear protection for me that would finally work for me. It didn't. It just, I think I might need smaller tips. So if they ever come out with mini size tips, I would try that and maybe it would work. But I kind of, after I tried these two products, I got the impression that I might have to stick with the Calmer Pros with the metal inserts and just try really hard not to lose them, because they're expensive to replace if they do get lost. For me, they're worth it. I even like wearing them inside, like wearing them and then putting my over-the-ear noise canceling headphones on top. It does provide a better sound. So I do really like the ideas that they have about like how they can make sound better, more pure, more clean, whatever. Sounds really cool, like a cool idea, but just due to sensory issues, a lot of their products I probably aren't going to be actually a good fit for me. But I mean, it's better than Loop, where I can use 0 of the products. And honestly, even like those like tubs of earplugs that you could get at the drugstore, I don't buy them because they're likely to be uncomfortable, and I don't want to do it. It feels wasteful, and I don't usually want to try them. It's just that sometimes, not often, because I also do sleep really heavily. I fall asleep really easily. That's not a bruise on my eye, it's old makeup. But then just the times when I really need to sleep, but I'm not falling asleep yet because I have like racing thoughts or something, that was what I was hoping to have a solution for sleep for. I'm thinking I might look into the calmers that have the silicone attach, like they're there, but then they come down and they attach together so that you don't lose them as easily. Those might be a good solution for me for sleep. Or I could try the regular calmers with no insert, just because they're more affordable to replace if Dumpling were to get it. Plus, at least with the Calmer Pro, it's not even so much an issue of replacing it. It's like if she were to get that and eat it, then there's a piece of metal in her body that I have to now worry about. Is she going to pass it or is she not? Is it going to cause a medical problem for my dog? I don't want that. But if she were to eat a 100% silicone calmer, I would be fairly confident that it would pass and not give her any pain or issues, and I wouldn't be as worried. But yeah, that's what I worry about. That's my review of how Flare Audio worked for me. Take that with a grain of salt, meaning it's just my opinion. Don't take it as fact. And, you know, what's comfortable for me is not going to be what's comfortable for you. So I would say, especially as you get familiar with a product, whether it's Loops or Calmers or whatever, always go into the reviews and try your best to do your research. That's what I do, because I don't like to have to figure out a return process. And that's more communications, more things that I put off. I mean, I knew that these hurt my ears for like the past 2 weeks. I still haven't reached out to Flare because it's just like work. So anyway, have a good day. And one of the first times I found Dana Anderson's channel was actually because she did like a review of some Flare audio products. And I had also heard about these from Mom on the Spectrum, which I know she pushes a lot of products, but I do trust her judgment, and I trust that like she gives enough detail for me to understand that she actually used it and knows what she's saying her actual opinions. So I don't, even though it worries me sometimes when people are sponsored by a lot of different companies or, you know, advertising products on their channels, I understand why we need a lot of accessibility products. And it honestly, even when they don't work out, I'm glad I'm trying something and trying to figure it out. So have a good day and bye.